Humans began eating meat 2.5 million years ago. Meat has transformed us to who we are today. Consuming meat enlarged our brain and reduced our gut, making us more intelligent and faster. Meat is so important to us that we have dedicated 26% of our planet's land to raise livestock. We have cut down forests, polluted rivers and streams, and warmed the planet to satisfy our hunger for meat. We have removed 85% of the ocean's fish stock. We have asked more of the earth than it can take. With a growing, affluent population, meat demand is pushing us to the brink. Isn't there a better way? Mark Post believed there was a better way to feed the planet, and in 2013 he cultivated the first hamburger. His $250,000 hamburger created quite a sensation. Because Mark's hamburger protein tissue experiment was grown in a lab, journalists called it lab-grown meat. Today, meat is not grown in a lab, but in a facility that looks like a brewery. Both beer yeast and animal cells are grown in fermentation tanks, also known as bioreactors. Just as it is ridiculous to say, "I want some lab-grown beer," it is ridiculous to say, "I want some lab-grown meat." The correct way to describe growing meat is cultivated meat or cultured meat. So what is the science behind growing cultured meat? It all begins with the animal. To grow cultured meat, scientists mimic the biological functions of an animal. The first step in growing cells starts with taking a tissue sample. From a single tissue sample, cell lines are isolated. Biologically, cells have a finite limit in which they can grow and divide. Without using genetic modifications, companies like Future Meat Technologies, Good Meat, and Blue Biosciences discovered a method to have cell lines divide indefinitely. Extracted from a single tissue sample, these animal cell lines are immortalized. Spontaneously duplicating cell lines can be transferred from one cultured meat facility to another around the globe. With the ability to double in size every 20 hours, these immortal cell lines have the potential to feed the world. Using a process known as precision biology, the next step is to grow cell lines in bioreactors. Although bioreactors look a lot like fermentation tanks at your local brewery, bioreactors are highly advanced machines that mimic the biological functions of an animal. Just like livestock converting plants into glucose, cell lines feed off corn syrup in bioreactors. It takes a lot more than just corn syrup to grow cell lines. Water, amino acid proteins, nutrients, and a host of other ingredients make up the formula known as the culture medium. The biggest challenge cultured meat companies face is reducing production cost. The first step in reducing cost is to bring down the price of cultured medium. Recently, pharmaceutical companies reduced the cost of culture medium to $150 per liter. Future Meat Technologies drastically reduced the cost of culture medium below 75 cents per liter. A key element to cultivating cells is using growth factors or hormones needed to have cells multiply. Growth factors cost $1 million per liter. Again, Future Meat Technologies discovered a non-GMO method to extract growth factors from soybean and chickpeas, dramatically reducing the cost of growth factors. In addition, they incorporate a kind of mechanical liver into their bioreactor, which continuously removes cell waste products. Removal of waste allows cell lines to proliferate exponentially. Future Meat Technologies' production volume is astonishing. A single bioreactor, about the same size as your refrigerator, can produce the equivalent of 3,000 chickens every 6 weeks or 60 cows every 6 months. To put this into perspective, the average cattle ranch requires 500 acres to raise 50 cows every 3 years. In contrast, a small facility with just 24 bioreactors can produce 1,440 cows every 6 months. You don't have to be a chief economist to know what this means for the livestock industry. Burger King's Impossible Whopper has the juicy element of a hamburger, but it is missing beef tissue and fat. Fat is what makes meat taste great. Great tasting prime steaks have a higher fat content than Choice or Select. When it comes to steaks, the higher price you pay, the higher the fat content. Mission Barns is building a precision fermentation facility in the Bay Area to produce animal fat. Future Meat Technologies is also building a precision fermentation factory to produce animal fat, along with animal tissue proteins using scaffolding techniques. Scaffolding is a process where fat and protein cells cling to plant-based platforms to give meat body and texture. Cultured meat companies are also working with cultivating animal-based collagen to replace plant-based scaffolds. Food scientists and chefs perform the last step in processing cultured meat by converting biomass into meat that looks, smells, feels, and most importantly, tastes like meat. Other companies like Blue Biosciences and Blue Nalu are on the verge of going to market with cultured salmon, mahi-mahi, and tuna. Cultured fish will be free from microplastics and antibiotics. The choice between buying cultured meat versus farm-raised will be much like our decision to buy farm-raised salmon versus wild-caught salmon. Price and taste will be the main driving force behind cultured meat. Once cultured meat companies have time to scale production, some experts believe the price of cultured meat and fish can be 50% lower than farm-raised livestock. As cultured meat sales grow, carbon emissions from conventional farming will decrease while opening up vast tracts of land. Converting this landmass of 485 million acres back into its native biodiverse habitat, it is estimated that the U.S. could become carbon neutral within 10 years. Cultured fish will make great strides in restoring 85% of a fish stock lost from overfishing. Cultured meat and fish will have a positive impact on us and our planet.